Sounds good. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2020 Ford Mustang Premium with the manual transmission and with the high performance EcoBoost. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Ed Kenley Ford for giving me some time with this Mustang. Check out the inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Now, under the hood of the high performance EcoBoost, we have a turbocharged 2.3 liter four cylinder that goes to a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 332 horsepower and then 350 pound-feet of torque. Let's actually go over the front end of the high performance EcoBoost. You get this really cool venting there at the top, and then you get this black accenting right there on the side of that venting as well, which is pretty neat. And then coming down below, you've got the full LED projector bulbs with the little LED accent lights that kind of look like fish gills, which I think is pretty cool. And then you've got the turn signal indicator just down below. And then I love the look of the front splitter, super aggressive, super sharp looking. And then I actually really like that little touch there with the Mustang horse, and then it's got the red, white, and blue. But other than that, here is your full front end on the high performance EcoBoost. Coming around the side here, you can see that we've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And this does have the performance handling package, so it does have the Magna Ride suspension, and then these wheels and tires are also part of that package, which I think is pretty neat. If we actually take a closer look at the wheels themselves, they're this beautiful like dark metallic gray, really open design, and just look how massive the front rotors are on this car. Obviously it's not as heavy as like the V8 versions, but you still need some stopping power. You got your high performance 2.3 liter L badging right there on the side, and then notice that the mirrors are also kind of like a metallic gray to match the wheels, which is another nice little touch. But there's your full side view. Now let's pop into the trunk of this EcoBoost Mustang. So first off, you guys can see storage space is pretty decent. The opening is a little bit on the smaller side, but it's kind of expected with a muscle car like this. And then under here, you got your little fix-a-flat kit, obviously saves weight over a spare tire. And then you got that for the sound system, which is pretty neat. But overall, things are pretty simple with the back portion. So, well, see ya. Now let's go over the rear of the high performance EcoBoost. So first off, you actually do get a spoiler as part of this package as well, which I think is pretty cool, again in that dark metallic gray. And then you've got the full LED lights. They are sequential, which is another neat little feature about the Mustang. And then again, you got that Mustang logo there on the back, which looks pretty cool. And then coming down to the exhaust, this actually does come with an active exhaust. You guys will hear that in a little bit, but you do get parking sensors here all along the rear. But yeah, just overall, you got that signature rear end of, well, a Mustang. Any year now. Alright, we're getting there, folks. Boom! And to think I could have just pulled this the whole time. Well, anyways, other than my stupidity, let's actually pop in. So, oh my gosh, it is hard to get back here. Well, I can't sit up fully. I like have to like scrunch like this with my head. So there's no headroom. And then if you guys are wanting on the legroom side of things, well, you have to just have like stick legs, which I mean a lot of people have those nowadays, so like that's probably not going to be a problem on that side of things. And then the seats back here actually look pretty cool. You've got like the really nice red leather, you've got the perforations on the center with the red and black stitching. All of it looks really cool. So I mean, at least it looks cool back here. It's just it's not comfortable. This is probably going to be mostly used as storage space. Let's actually go over the door panel here on the high performance EcoBoost. So you can see that you've got the nice black leather here with the red perforated leather inserted kind of like in between the two black layers, which is pretty neat. And then we've got all of our memory seat controls right here with your door lock and unlock, your window controls, little Mustang logo, and then you got the front seats. So again, you've got the combination of the red with the black, which I really love. Continues all the way down with the perforations, and then you've got your adjustments there on the side of the seat. Pedal layout, which you've got the 3 pedals, and it looks pretty good for the material use. And then you got a little popper for the trunk light controls just up above, and I think this trim right here is pretty neat looking. And then the steering wheel is going to be manually adjustable, but there's one more look before we actually pop in. Now here is the steering wheel on the High Performance EcoBoost. You've got the smooth leather all around the steering wheel itself, and then you've got the black stitching right there on the center portion. And then we can see you've got your little controls for the center stack, your voice command controls, phone controls just down below. This does come with adaptive cruise control, which is pretty neat, even though it has a manual transmission. Volume controls right there. And then you got a little stock for the turn signal on this side, and you got the stock for the windshield wipers on the other side. But that is the steering wheel on the Mustang EcoBoost. Now we have the center gauge cluster here. Now this has the upgraded gauge cluster, which looks pretty cool. So you have that little center stack, which basically just shows you different bits of information on the vehicle. And then you obviously have the RPMs on the left side and the speed on the right side. The coolest thing though, and the thing you guys probably care about, is the drive mode. So you've got it in normal mode right now. When we pop over into my mode, that's just whatever you have it set for with everything in terms of like the drive select. So this is just what this one has it set as. And then you've got the Sport Plus mode. And then we've got the track mode, which changes it yet again. And then we've got the drag strip mode. And then you've got the snow/wet if you actually take this in those conditions. But definitely my favorite look is going to be the Sport Plus mode. I definitely like the look of the gauge cluster with that, how it kind of like arcs around. But I think the track mode also looks really good too, just with that kind of setup. Kind of reminds me of like the Ford GT. So you've got like the whole screen set up right here, and I love these two little analog gauges right next to the vents. I don't know, I think that's pretty funny. I remember that in my Shelby 350 that I had. But we've got the center infotainment system here, so if we pop it into reverse, got the backup camera that'll turn with the trajectory lines. Totally just stuttered there. Anyways, you can zoom in. I mean, it's got lines and everything, so you can tow with this, I guess. I don't know what that's for, but you guys can see normal backup camera. As for the rest of the infotainment system, it's Ford's upgraded infotainment system, so response time on it is really solid. You can pretty much control everything through the infotainment system. And yes, this does come with a little heated steering wheel, which is pretty neat. And the button for it's just right there. And dual zone climate. But yeah, pretty straightforward on the infotainment system, nothing too crazy. And sorry about the whole glare situation. Just down below, we've got our analog controls for the infotainment system. We got your volume controls, all that kind of stuff. And then we do have the little climate controls here. It does have a dual zone climate. You got your heated and ventilated seats. And then just down below that, you've got your hazard lights, your stability control, your steering feel, and then your drive mode. And then also the engine stop start with the steering feel. I've noticed it looks like you can really only customize it in the normal mode, but you've got like the normal steering, the sport steering, and then the comfort steering. So just the 3 different steering feels makes it lighter or heavier with the whole steering setup. We do have the 6-speed manual transmission. First off, to pop it in reverse, so obviously pushing the clutch, but you've got to pull up on that little tab, push it over and up, and that'll pop it in reverse, and that's what pops up the backup camera as well. As for the rest of the gears, I feel like it's really notchy. It's kind of like in between like a longer throw shifter and a short throw shifter. It's, I don't know, it's like right in between. Like short throw shifter would be like just barely any movement, whereas this, there's a little bit of a throw to it. So I really like the throws. I'll kind of see how it feels when I drive it. But so far, I definitely like the overall feel of the shifter itself, and then kind of like the ball shape on the top's definitely nice to hold on to. Couple cup holders right here, and then we do have the traditional handbrake, and then we've got the center console, which, you know, has some USBs, all that kind of stuff, more red stitching on the top. And then we've got the glove box, which there we go. Anyways, with the glove box, pretty normal, decent amount of storage space. They got that cool trim across the dash, more red stitching here at the top. And then look at this, you get your little own plaque that tells you high performance 2.3 liter chassis, and it gives you your number, just like what they do on the Shelby GT350s. Now up top here, we got a little light control, and then you got universal garage door openers, and then full black headliner, which is pretty neat. No center for anything like that. I'm pretty sure you can't get those on the Mustangs anymore. I think since like 2014 model year, but anyways. Now that we're done going the interior on this Mustang High Performance EcoBoost and the premium package, let's quickly get into the pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Mustang stickers for about $44,000 for any type of market adjustment. This thing is literally as loaded as it gets. It has like, I don't know if there's any other options you can have. This thing's loaded up. But that all being said, let's take this Mustang out and see how it drives. Well, let's quickly talk about visibility here in this EcoBoost Mustang. So first off, visibility over the hood is actually really solid. It is a longer sized hood, but once you get used to it, it's not bad by any means. And then here's your visibility through both of the mirrors. And they do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's all throughout the rear. So that window in the back is actually pretty large. So from a visibility standpoint, it's actually pretty easy to see out of. And that all being said, well, clutch in, first gear. Hopefully we don't stall it. Let's set off. So we are setting off here in this Mustang High Performance EcoBoost, and let me know if you guys like this point of view better than what my normal point of view is. I kind of reorganized how I have the camera, so if you guys prefer this, then let me know. Downshifts are pretty good. Now I'm going to pop it into the Sport Plus mode. Yeah, it's pretty good. So obviously I'm going partial throttle right now. I'm going to create a little bit of space with me and the person in front of me. But so far with just partial throttle, it's pretty good. It blips pretty well. Yeah, that's good. It's quick for sure. This transmission though is definitely not my favorite. I might recommend getting the automatic with this car over the manual transmission. It's definitely fun rolling the gears yourself, but this transmission kind of feels weird going into gears. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it's not the smoothest. The shifter actuation itself, the clutch is fine. The clutch is perfect on this car. But the shifter actuation is a little bit strange. Definitely something that it took me a second to get used to. I remember my Shelby GT350 has a different transmission than this. It has the Tremec 6-speed. I don't remember the shifter being this kind of weird. Yeah, this shifter's weird. It's very weird. I don't know if I like it, but I mean, I don't know. I've definitely driven manual transmissions that are worse than this, but it's not like the 6-speed you get in the Shelby GT350. That is very interesting that I can actually perceive the difference with that. But the acceleration is just phenomenal. No complaints there from the acceleration with this car, and hopefully I can sneak in here. Yeah, no complaints from an acceleration standpoint. This 2.3 liter has a ton of torque, and I mean, the Mustang's not a big car. I know a lot of people wish that the Mustang always had a V8, but you know, we got to be economical in today's world, and so we got to deal with these 4 cylinders. Kind of makes pops at the back. And then the other thing is, I didn't really notice a sound difference between the exhaust when it's in the sport mode and when it's in the normal mode. It says it has an active exhaust, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys heard a difference in the revving clip. But for me, when I revved it the first time and the second time, it sounded about the same to me. That's so weird. Yeah, I mean, the shifter's not bad. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It just has this weird feeling. Like sometimes it goes into gear and it's really like nice, but other times it's like you have to like really like pull it. It's like extremely notchy into the gear. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. I'm not a huge fan, and that actually get me into setting things up here with this High Performance EcoBoost. So this is kind of a weird package. Yes, you could get a less loaded up GT with the V8 for a little bit less money or the same money as this. But that being said, it depends on what you're looking for. Now, this is going to be, you know, you could literally just tune this and get even more power than what this has. You're not going to get the V8 sound, but I still think this is a pretty cool car for getting a fully loaded car with the manual transmission. It's pretty good. It's a fun little sports car. You could definitely daily drive it. It's very comfortable from a ride quality perspective. Very, very comfortable. So you could easily daily drive this. And I mean, if you want a Mustang and you want better gas mileage, then that's what the EcoBoost is about. And I guess that if you're someone that, you know, misses the Focus RS and that engine, then, well, this has the Focus RS engine. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting car. It's definitely different, but I can see why Ford does it. And so yeah, this is the EcoBoost High Performance. Now that's going to sum things up for our video on this 2020 Ford Mustang High Performance EcoBoost. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Ed Kenley Ford for giving me some time with this Mustang. Check out the inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.